Hello and welcome back to the No About Knowledge podcast. For today, we're going to be previewing the USA versus Belgium game in the round of 16. Now, yeah, I think going into this particular game, both teams have been, I think, on opposite sides of the spectrum. USA has been playing very well, looking good, looking very promising. In fact, the entire world football has been shocked and surprised by how they've been playing. And I think the USA is finally getting a little bit more respect, especially from its European counterparts. Whereas Belgium has not been looking good at all. And I think, made it past Senegal by the skin of their teeth and then a very controversial VAR decision in the final minute of extra time. So as things stand right now, you know, I would have to favor the USA, but that controversial sending off to Balogun took away so much from them that I think it's almost neck and neck going into the game now that it could pretty much go either way. So just want to just get your thoughts on both teams, and then more importantly, that red card decision on Balogun. First and foremost, was it the right decision, and how big of an impact is that going to have on the outcome of this game?
Yeah, so to start off with the bottom, like red card, because here in the States, obviously we live in the US, so it's been a huge talking point. For me, it is a red card. Um, Unfortunate, he is obviously not at all trying to hurt him. I mean, that's the clearly like so clear. He's obviously not trying to hurt him. I just think that's one thing that it's in the rule book to sort of protect players where actually, if I'm not mistaken, I saw somebody talking about it where they actually like a lot of people were saying, yeah, but he's not trying to hurt him. Once again, we all agree with that. But in the last few years, they even took out the intent part of it when it comes to that. So you can't even sort of argue for him when it comes to that. They took out the like they're not even taking into consideration if he trying to hurt him or not. They're just kind of looking at the action itself, which I think it's obviously unfair to the player. It sucks because this guy's not even looking at. He doesn't even know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, the
But
guy's
he
behind him.
does unfortunately. Yeah, he unfortunately steps on his foot because of things that happen. The guy's ankle kind of twisted. It looks extremely ugly as well when you stop it 45 times, So, I mean, once again, I'm tired of seeing reds like that in the Spanish league, which is the league that I follow the most. So, I do think it's a red card just following precedent, right, of what's going on. When it comes to laws, I think it's huge. I think I would say this is what, like maybe if we had to give it a percentage, what, at least 25%, right? Of just
Or I
like the
put more.
US's chance. And that's just like on one player. This guy, it's by far the player on form. And the thing is, can we even name who's gonna be his replacement in this
Ricardo
game?
Pepi, probably.
Is he?
If he has you
I
right,
mean,
I don't know.
who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen here? So that's like the one thing I'm leading up into their games. I think USA just amazing performances. Belgium question marks everywhere. Obviously, we want the USA to go through, but I was just thinking about it. One thing that I do not like at all, man, is the fact that the USA got that red card. Their on form players not going to play, and yet Belgium were out, you know, out and about, and they somehow found a way to go back. How does that momentum switch from both sides, right? Because
Mm.
Belgium were out of it. They were out of the tournament and now they have a second life. And it's like, man, how do they feel? Or the fact that they're still in this tournament now that USA has to go in there into that war without their own form player. And there's one thing that I want to ask you, Javi. I mean, we're obviously like young, so the old heads, the United States old heads, they could obviously comment if we're wrong here. But do you believe this is the biggest game, at least in our lifetime, for the United States when it comes to just what it means? Because I believe I'll give you my opinion on it. I believe if they win this game, and I do think they're gonna win this game, and they play Spain, everybody's gonna say, "Oh, the game against Spain is the biggest game." Yeah, but you're not expected to win that game. You're gonna be a massive underdog in that game. I feel like this is actually a game where the books have you as a slight favorite. You could actually, put your foot and say, "We just beat a Belgium team with great players. We're here, like in the next World Cups coming up. You have to put us in the quarterfinals. You have to put us as a team that could go on a deep run." For me personally, I do think this is the biggest game in US soccer history, at least in our lifetime. I mean, we're both 26, 27, so I do believe that. I want to know your opinion on that.
Definitely. Not even close. And for a multitude of reasons. And we can get into them. First and foremost, the furthest that any U.S. team has ever made it to a World Cup is a quarterfinal. I think it was 2002 where they lost to Germany 1-0. They actually should have beaten Germany. It was a goal line clearance handball by a German defender that they didn't catch. No VAR at the time, and they ended up losing to Germany 1-0. And since then, we've never made it past the round of 16 ever. And so when we're getting into once again in the round of 16, look at everything that we have going for us. We have our home advantage in Seattle, probably the
Huge.
football slash soccer capital of the USA. We have the best manager that we've ever had in our entire history. When we have the best group of players that we've ever had in our entire history. I'm sorry, but you need to get past this round. You can't tell me that we have Chris Richards, Tim Ream, Tyler Adams, Christian Pulisic, all these guys that played Premier League football, Anthony Robinson as well. And then everybody else plays in either Italy or PSV. Serginho Dest used to be a Barcelona player. We have the best squad and selection of players that we've ever had in our entire history. Clinton Dempsey and London Donovan were our best players in recent history. And come on,
Those
I
guys
think
don't start
Clinton
in this game. They don't start in
exactly.
like this
They,
team.
they don't they don't even start in this team. Pochettino, by far, on accolades alone, Jurgen Klinsmann, fantastic manager for us, but on accolades alone, but Pochettino, definitely the best manager that we've had. Everything is in our favor. So if we still can't get over this round of 16 hurdle, then when will we? Then when will we? And the only reason why the rest of the footballing world has been talking differently about the U.S. men's national team so far is just because of the way that we've played, just the way that we've looked on the ball, the touches, the passing, the interplay, the high press, the us being the protagonist in games. That has finally changed the narrative. Because if we're honest with ourselves, the USA, at least on results, should have earned a decent amount of respect. Definitely much more respect than the likes of Belgium and Turkey get every single World Cup. Because in 2010, in 2010, we had a group stage with England and Slovenia in it, and we won that group stage. England finished second in the group, and we lost in extra time to Ghana. That same Ghana that lost in the quarterfinals to Uruguay, thanks to a goal line save by Luis Suarez. I got him sent off. Otherwise, that was the best team in Africa at the time that could have very easily been in the semifinal of a World Cup. In 2014, we had the group of death with Portugal, Germany, and Ghana, and we finished second in the group, sending Cristiano Ronaldo home. And we lost in extra time to Belgium's golden generation in the round of 16. And the following World Cup, obviously, it was the new generation. Christian Pulisic was a talisman, was a teenager at the point. We didn't qualify. And the last World Cup was actually a disappointment because we had Greg Berhalter, who was an idiot of a manager, and we only made it to the round of 16, losing to the Netherlands, the same Netherlands that took the champions all the way to penalties. So the U.S. has actually always historically performed above expectation in every single World Cup, but they still never really had the respect from fans all over the world. The only reason people are talking about them differently right now is just because of how they're going about it, how they're actually playing. But if we face this aging Belgium side that is not looking as good and we lose, everyone's going to go back and say USA is a joke, USA isn't serious. The second they faced a European side that wasn't even a favorite, it wasn't even one of the big ones, they crumbled away, they lost, and they're going to put it to bed. And so this is massive for the U.S. men's national team. It's massive for the organization. It's massive as well for the growth of this sport, and particularly in this country. This is by far the biggest game in U.S. men's national team history. It's not even close. Not even close. And so, yeah, I also, to get back to the game itself, we have the experience and the pedigree and the heritage of European football with Belgium, some older players like Kevin De Bruyne, but still they carry that heritage, they carry that legacy. And then we have the USA, which is very youthful, very high energetic, a very high pressing side, and is going to have the energy of the home crowd. I see this as a battle of kind of like, wisdom and experience versus like youth and energy. Do you see it the same way, or where do you think the game is won and lost?
I see it the same way, but maybe this is my even though I wasn't born in this country, but it's my American side coming out because I'm very grateful to have actually been raised here and I lived here. But I think the USA, the youth is gonna come on, they're gonna run over them. I feel that. I don't know why I have a feeling that United States, that youth and that excitement. I mean, I said it, I think it's a red card. It just sucks that Bodigan is not there. It just,
Yeah,
I think he would have had a field day with those center backs. And I think, and I do think it's a great point of saying, this Belgium team, they're old. They have that experience. They played multiple World Cups. If you look at them, they don't look good. They don't have that energy. They don't look physically good. And one thing about this USA team, they're all young. They run like crazy. I think if they come out, they could run over these people. And I
Mm,
see it. I feel like once again, I did say that Belgium is sort of playing with with house money in a sense because they were supposed to be out. But maybe I could change that a little bit too and say maybe Belgium is sort of just waiting for somebody to take them out. They just don't want to be here anymore. I mean, we saw the game of Senegal, the players fighting in the middle of the cooling break.
toxic
De
national team,
Bruyne,
man.
I'm De Bruyne and Courtois. We all know the issue that they have. They can't even look at each other. So maybe they're just waiting for a young team like the United States is going to come out with full of energy and just run past them. And they say, man, you know what? Just come here and put us to the sword, pretty much. So
Yeah,
I do love that analysis of the old experienced team versus the young team. And I'm most of the time, especially in this type of game, you kind of want the experience, right? And say, I'd rather have the experience. This guy's gonna control the game. I think it's gonna, especially in this game itself, it's gonna be different. I think the United States could really come out here with that energy and run past his grandparents because these
yeah,
guys are not looking too good. And I feel like the United States is young, they're physical, they have energy. They show it against like Paraguay. They could put goals on you and like that.
yeah,
So I don't know why I envision that coming up to the game where it's gonna be the United States gonna come out and they're really gonna put the foot on the gas and they're gonna out physical them and they're gonna do some stuff to them. I really fancy them here. Just on
yeah.
at least on that aspect of the game.
And to be fair, that's exactly what Senegal did to them up into the 86th minute.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they did. So hopefully Pochettino, finds is able to bridge the gap from the tactical point of view, and the physicality and the youth from the Americans is pretty much replicates what Senegal did up until the 85th minute, of course. So yeah, we're still gonna have to give it to the Americans just because of how they've been playing on form, home advantage of all these things. But massive game for them and one that they definitely need to get over the line if they want to change the narrative surrounding them. So let us know what your thoughts are. Are the Americans going to get through, or is that European heritage once again going to be too much for them to handle? Would love to know what you guys think. But for the only team I will be saying this, come on USA, let's get over the line, boys.
Let's go.